Hello, everyone. You've seen it all. We've gone to Edo State. Edo election is over. I'm back in Abuja. I came in yesterday night. It was really so stressful. The trip itself was very stressful. Let me just talk about the trip a little bit. First of all, we were supposed to fly 12:30. We didn't fly until around 4. When we flew, it was raining heavily in Abuja and we were in real turbulence. As in, the plane is like this, like this, like this. And then when we landed, luckily for us, I think to an extent, the plane was big. Probably would not have been able to land if it was the usual small, flight that goes in within Nigeria. And probably also because of the election that had just concluded in Benin, there were a lot of passengers, so they brought in a very much bigger plane. Later on in the day, when I got home, I think like 30 minutes after I got home, or before I even got home, it was before I got home, I saw the headline that another plane that was coming into Abuja that had landed after us had a bit of problem. Showore was even on that plane, that to the extent that the windscreen shattered. That's how that turbulence, it really was very, people were screaming and shouting in the plane that I was in. But hey, we thank God we're here. And for, like I always say to everybody, just do what you need to do. Live your life as if every day, every second is your last day. That's much better. But anyway, away from all of that, is to talk about the fact that Ganduje, the chairman of APC, is talking. There's on Parallel Facts here, the title says, Edo decides, alleged rigging, we have started developing strategies to win Ondo, Anambra, says Ganduje. The national chairman of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, has stated that the party will apply the same strategy used in the Edo state governorship election to secure victory in the upcoming November 6 election in Ondo State. Ganduje, Ganduje. So I'm just trying to, okay, this is very short. Let me read it because I just want to also do a bit of explanation on this. Ganduje, the former governor of Kano State, also mentioned that the party intends to use this strategy to win Anambra, currently governed by All Progressive Grand Alliance (APGA), as well as other southeastern states in future elections. He made these remarks on Monday in Abuja while celebrating Senator Monday Okpebholo's victory alongside members of the Edo State Election Situation Room. Ganduje said a big party like the APC ought to have been fully in charge of the Southeast geopolitical zone and urged party leaders at all levels to work hard towards actualizing the party's objectives. We have started working to develop strategies to win the states. Next year, Anambra State will follow. Let me remind you that we have a project which we named Political Demarginalization of Southeast Geopolitical Zone. That project is also a task that must be done. We will face Southeast Zone with 5 states. We already have 2, but 2 is too small for a big party like ours. We will face that state and see how we can recover many states in our favor, Ganduje said. And what this thing that Ganduje has said, he's just publicly coming out to say that they're going to continue to buy votes and they're going to continue to rig election. These are the strategies that they use in Edo State. But let me also add the fact that some of the strategies that they are going to deploy, there will also be violence, violence and intimidation, depending on the state. Let me take Edo State first of all. What the APC did, which also the PDP partook in it. By the way, the greatest threat to opposition and democracy in this country is actually PDP. I'm going to do a separate video explaining how PDP is that. Because it's such a party that has zero strategy, cannot think, controlled by money, controlled by greed, controlled by a few. And so they have allowed APC to continue to almost be like a one party state, or is it one state party, one party state, that the way they call it. What they did in Edo State, first of all, they know that they didn't have the capacity for violence in Edo State. They can, because they they are not the ones at the state level, so they didn't control the talks and whatever. Even if they say they want to bring police, there will be a bit of scheming. So they didn't do that. What they now focused on was vote buying. They've weaponized the people, and then there was voters' apathy. Voters' apathy is the reason why they were able to control the vote buying. So the people that turned up were people who were interested in selling their vote. The other ones, they did not turn up. The people who sold their votes and the people who did not turn up are the same. They decided they were not going to really participate. They decided they didn't believe in the electoral process. They were not going to do anything. So some decided to get whatever small cash they can get. Others decided they were going to stay at home, and then their ballot papers were used. So PDP, APC, they both all sat down and they both bought this vote. There was vote buying. At the end of the day, who was buying more? And then PDP was relaxed. Because APC was dealing with them that, oh, we are one. They are actually one with two different branches. And they now came from behind and shored up numbers. You're seeing places, literally, the voters' turnout was very low on in reality, serious voter apathy. But on paper, you're seeing some places 90-something% voters turn out. That's what, not 90-something% voted for one, even voted for the one party or the other. Even the turnout 90-something%. So they shot up the numbers. Like one particular place where you had, I think they had 1,009 registered voters. And then what happened? Out of that 1,009, is it 1,006 or 1,007 were accredited? 1,006 were accredited. APC got 1,004 or 1,002. PDP got 4 votes, and then the rest got 000. Yeah, that's how they literally, both APC and PDP, in whatever places that they usually will have strength, that's what they did. And so they put that on, and then they shot up this number. So coming to Ondo State, because I think if I'm not mistaken, the current Ondo State governor is actually from APC. So what they're gonna do, they most likely you're gonna see intimidation of voters. Violence can be brought in because now they control the violence space, right? So that can be brought in. You can have intimidation of voters. So you're told not to come at masses, just stay away from it, and then if they see they're able to intimidate enough people not to come out, well, they really wouldn't bother to even buy. They might not bother to buy votes the way they did in Ondo State. But if the other opponents are also able to have people, their own supporters that will come out, they will bring in that, vote buying to be in place, and then to be a matter of, is the opponent able to buy those votes? In Edo they had state money to use. The APC had federal money to use. The PDP had state money to use. Ondo, I don't know whether the PDP have any money. Of course, they don't have central money to use. They don't have state money to use. It's going to be private money. Private money, you can't be buying votes like that with private money. We are talking about billions of billions. Even if it's just 100,000, you're paying 10,000. I think that's around one, if I'm not mistaken, how much is that? 100,000 votes, that's around 1 billion. Yeah, I'm talking about around 1 billion. So if you increase it and all of that, it's not easy. So we don't know what those ones are going to be like. So the strategy for Ondo, that it might be combination of violence, intimidation. They might not do vote buying, because why waste money if really people don't come out, and it's mostly your people that come out. But if other ones are able to muster and people come out, they might use a vote buying also. But I see less of that vote buying coming. I think there will be less of that vote buying in Ondo State. Coming to Anambra State. Anambra State is this. So there are different things. They might look for a deal with what do you call it? The current governor that is there now, Soludo. You've seen him, the way he talks always on the side of federal government. So it might be, hey, you're going to support us as we go on. We support you. So let's do this thing. Or Soludo might decamp and go to APC. You never can say permutation. It can happen. It can decide to be, is it not APC flag you people want? Let me kukuma join you there and be part of it. Otherwise, they're going to do also that vote buying, and then intimidation might, I don't know whether intimidation might happen, might not be as much, because there's a state might there, depending on if the state has enough to control the violent space where intimidation will be used. I don't really have control of that. I don't know how much Anambra has control of that. And then in terms of both vote buy, even though they tried it the last time, many people rejected monies that were paid. But of course now in Anambra State it's a bit different, because you now have 3 parties. You have actually 4. You're going to have Labour Party, you're going to have PDP, you're going to have APC, you're going to have APGA. So PDP, Will they have enough people that will bring the money that can be used? APC have federal money, ABGA has state money, Labour has to have private money. Although Labour will have the people, then you have ABGA. So where will that be? So Anambra will also be a bit dicey. So I'm sure they will try to use money. Money will play a major role also in Anambra, and then violence might not, and intimidation might not be able, they might not be able to play that, or they might not be able to play that as such. And of course, you will, can always have the, what's it called now, the IPOB effect coming in. You don't know where those ones are going to come from. They're going to tell people to stay in their houses, or they're going to tell people not to come. Are people going to be afraid or whatever? But hey, I tell you, but one of the things that everyone must understand is that there's no longer free, fair, credible election in Nigeria, and then we need to do something about it. And the more people stay away, you're part of those that are contributing to the lack of free, fair, credible election. If people are able to come out, most of the things that they do, they would be able to do it. But as long as there's voter apathy, and this is what we see most often when there's off-cycle election, we'll continue to have this. Well, we'll continue to watch, but let me remind every one of us, politics is how we get people that govern. And the people that govern are the ones that give policies that will affect our lives for good or for bad. If you think you will not participate in politics, no problem. The policies that come from the people who participate in politics, they actually participate in your life. Let's see how it goes. Thank you so much for watching.